Welcome back to part 2 of my Jurrac Ryu-Ge explanation video. So part 1, which I already posted, was about the deck list and the analysis and the play-by-play and just why I played every copy. In this video I'll be going over the combos. I'll be doing the obvious one-card combos, but I'll also be going over some really niche combos that a lot of Dino players and Ryu-Ge players are just not aware of, in ways that you can just unbrick your hands as well, which is pretty relevant. Before I get into the combos, I do want to follow up my last video, so I want to go over some cards that I would actually change in my deck list. So the previous deck list is here. I would make changes here, so I would take out the Perulias, for example, and move Volcano to side. So I'll be going over cards I will be adding in. Ghost Spell, I think, is now main deck worthy. The reason why is because hand traps like Effect Veiler and Ash and Ghost Ogre, I feel like they're just not good in this deck. Because we play 50 cards and we only have like 12 non-engine cards, hand traps that negate on the opponent's turn just aren't worth it unless you've got multiple different ones. You need like critical mass. Decks like Yummies, they can play 50% of their deck being all hand traps. They can reliably get multiple hand traps to stop the opponent. But on this deck, you're only going to get one, maybe two different hand traps at most, and that's just not going to do anything. It's only going to hand loop yourself. The reason that I like Bell is because it's a hand trap that you can use in the opponent's turn if you need to, but it's also pretty good to use on your own turn. If you're going first, you can use it to protect your combos against certain cards, or you can use it going second. You can stop Call by the Grave. You can use it against Yummy to stop Yummy Surprise, or the Synchros from reviving from graveyards, or even against Draco Tail, for example. And even Mitsurugi, you can stop them from reviving your Mitsurugis from graveyard. It's just a hand trap that works on your turn as well, so I really like it. Like, Dominus Impulse is another example of this as well. Now, I don't own this card because it's still quite pricey. I never really considered it for the tournaments, but it is a card that you can use on your turn. It is really powerful, and you can get the pop effect if you're going first, which is really nice. The limitation of you can't use any light monsters just does not matter. Like, realistically, I almost never use Mischievous Summon effect, and UCT is the only light monster whose effects you will want to activate, and I guess that can be kind of annoying not being able to activate UCT, but it's actually not super necessary. Going second, this is pretty good as well. You can hold it for your turn and just use it to stop a Yummy card from being special summoned. It is quite nice. You can use it against Arcus, Mitsurugi, K9. You can shut off the quick play spell, for example. It works going second against every deck. It's also really nice against a Draco Tail as well. Book of Eclipse is a card that can work going first or second. It's obviously really good against Yummies and K9s. It's pretty good because you just put all their monsters face down, it shuts off their plays. It's not very good against Draco Tail. Actually, it sucks against Draco Tail, and it sucks against Arcus, for example. An interesting thing with Book of Eclipse is that if you go first, you normal summon Jurrac Stego and you activate its effects, and they try to Imperm or Veiler you. Book of Eclipse can put it face down, and the Stego can just resolve, so you actually get your full combos. So you can use it defensively going first. You can also use it like when you go first, in addition to your board, to Book of Moon everything on the field. Then you just Jurrac Meteor the field, so your opponent doesn't get any draws. But the fact that it does put your own monsters face down, and it's not great in every matchup, I'm iffy about this card. Metaltronus is a card that is good, but you have to play in deck built into it, and it's a lot of effort, I feel. Against Yummies, you can do Arclight and just out their Arclight, but to get the full value, you have to summon Arclight, negate their Arclight, then link off your Arclight for Gravity Controller, and then you get the search, but that's just a lot of effort. It is really good against Draco Tail, I will say, especially if you're going first and they summon Alfarian on your turn. Metaltronus can use Anva as a main deck Metaltronus target and use to negate and banish the Draco Tail fusion, which is really good. Super Poly, yeah, Metaltronus, I don't think I would play it though. We just don't have the side and extra deck space for it. It's only good for very specific matchups, but it's good to know for the future. Super Poly, I think, is pretty good. I would main deck this card. It's good against every single matchup except Draco Tail, and it's actually like usable against Draco Tail. Specifically, you'd make like the Secretion Dragon or Sectarian Dragon. And it's really good against Yummies. Very, very good. It's good against Mitsurugi. K9, I'm not 100% sure. It depends on what variant they're using because they have all different types and attributes. One really big takeaway is from the last list. Because of the new Synchro Burial Bicorn Carnivorous, or whatever it's called in TCG, Jurrac Volcano is no longer needed in the main deck for the one card combo. I have moved it to side deck, and I would side it in if I know I'm going first, because it is a brick if you're going second, and you just don't need it. Burial Bicorn Carnivorous is a nice card. The effects are not great. It's basically just a level 6 Dino Synchro. It lets you put more dinos in your graveyard so you can use Miscellaneous Source earlier, and it is a bigger beat stick to revive. The quick effect, Synchro Summon effect, can come up for some combos. So these are like most of the changes. This is actually what I'm running now. So let's just get into the deck list. Let's get into the combos. So let's do Door Shuffle deck. So this is like the standard one card combo that I would do. So we start off with Mistfa. If this card fully resolves, going first you basically just win. So we just activate our Mistfa and we just go into our field spell, which is really good. If we get Drolled here or Lancia, this combo just ends. But Ash Blossom would stop this combo, but we could just have any other card in hand and still do this. So we activate our field spell, and if you want to play Fufu Walos, you would do things differently. You can play Fufu Walos. You would search Megalo, but for the regular like full steam combo, you just go Stego, then the green and blue one. You search Stego. I would banish the green one because if you're not able to resolve the field spell for some reason, the green one can bring itself back as follow-up. If they decide to use an impulse on the field spell here, which is really, that's what they would do, you still have your normal summon and discard it can come back turn 3. So we just activate a field spell because the conditions would be met. So we summon 3. Then we're going to use the effect to pop itself because we need to float. Don't summon Mistfa. You could if you want to, but realistically there's no real reason to. So we float, you go into the green spell, and then you're going to the normal trap, because the normal trap is extremely valuable for the resource loop. So we get this, and maybe set at the end of the combo just in case they try to do some K9 play on your turn. So there's two things you could do. You could put the Varudras in the extra monster zone, or you could put it in the main monster zone. If you want to summon Mistfa during opponent's turn, you would put Varudras in the main monster zone, but really you don't need to use Mistfa's effect to summon itself. So usually I would just put this in this zone. Now we normal summon Stego, and we've got a negate here. They would need 2 hand traps to negate Stego, and that's assuming we don't have Misk in hand. And even if that does happen, I've still got another negate and interruption here. And I guess if you're trying to play through double hand trap, you want Varudras to be in the main monster zone, that way you get your floodgate as well. But I guess that's like super, it just depends on your hand really. So for full ceiling, we'll just do this. So Stego will pop the field spell, not itself. We get Misk, and now we summon 4. So get the 2 Aeols out of your brick. Now, the HBC Synchro does change this combo. You don't actually need to summon all 5 level 1s during a combo. So you can discard one of them if you want to. So we'll just make Velveto, just use any of the level 1s. Then we go straight into level 6 here. Now, something important to note is that because we got to level 6 and Velveto's in Grave, we can use Miscellaneous now, and we still have Dinos in Grave. So here I would leave Stego because we might need that for future like later on in the combo, and also it's easier to set up the Asteros, so you don't actually need all of your Megalos in play. So we just get UCT, or you could search Overraptor if you want to. It's up to you. You could search Overraptor for a normal summon into UCT, Which, to be fair, I'll probably do that, or you could get UCT. If you do search UCT, do not summon it. You definitely don't want to be doing that. So what we do is we'll do Overraptor to pop Megalo, special summon it, and then set up our nuke. And here's the saucy play. What we can do is we can chain Carnivorous, chain link 2, we make Astero here, and now during the chain, Carnivorous is in graveyard. So this can actually come back. Now we just get level 6 back onto the field. Then we set up our nuke, and then Jurrac Stego can tag out for Stego. And now, because of this new synchro, we can make a second Astero on top of this. Then we set our trap. We don't actually need the field spell. Like, we're basically going to get 3 meteors here. We got 2 summon negates, a negate and pop, and a pop of this. Then we have triple meteor, and then if Varudras leaves EMZ, we can summon this and get the floodgate and a draw if you want to. Now, if you put Varudras in the main monster zone, you're not able to make double Astero. You only have 1 Astero, which is probably enough. The only issue is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dinosaurs in grave, and that's it. So we're kind of limited in how many nukes we can do. If we, like, Astero can banish 2 dinosaurs and the other Astero banishes 2 more dinosaurs, and we're basically left with 1 Astero and a meteor. So if we use all the summon negates, we're actually kind of limited in how many nukes we can do. That is kind of iffy. You could do it a little bit differently if you want to. But anyways, like, we'll just go to opponent's turn. So, like, realistically, they would just activate a card. Then, like, okay, let's just say it goes through. To do the resource loop, we use the normal trap. The normal trap will just pop anything, for example. It just like any monster. Let's see, you could even pop your own Astero if you want to set up more nukes. Then when we go Meteor, for example, later on in the combo, we just summon a Meteor, nuke the entire field. Then instead of summoning the Mistva with Anva, I use Anva as pop fodder. Then we can summon a bigger beast if you want to. I would use Anva to go into the continuous trap instead. Then Varudras can also pop when it's destroyed. So we could get this, and then this can give us a shuffle back and pop, which is cool. So like we could like do that, for example, shuffle these back, just pop anything on field, doesn't matter. Then we could use Astero, and then we just get another nuke. So we'll interrupt our opponent again, and then we just summon another tuner. And then the trap that we popped will float back into the normal trap. And if you have the continuous trap and Anva, you float back into both traps again, which is really important. So it just gives you follow-up. These traps just keep coming back. Then it's back to your turn. You'll have your Overraptor, you'll have your normal trap, you have the Mistva in your extra deck, you have a lot of resources, you just win. If you want to play through Fuwalos, let's do the Fuwalos combo. So let's say my opponent Fuwalos is me. Test hands 2. So let's say they shotgun Fuwalos. So Fuwalos gets activated. So I'm under it. So now this changes things. We do not instantly lose this. If you do the Stego combo, you do give your opponent a lot of draws, but we don't actually need to do that. There's another option. So we get our 2 Ryuges. This also plays through Perulia really well. So we get Megalo to hand. We banish. Then I'll set this. So if your opponent uses Perulia, they get 0 draws off of it. Also, like sometimes you can summon the blue guy back if 2 hand traps are used, but that's not really necessary. So we just summon our 3 Ryukis. So our opponent gets 1 draw, and then we set up the back row from here. You could summon Mistfa, but I would rather not because we don't want to be giving more draws. Like, we might as well just play through this properly. And we get the normal trap. Here, Rivalry, which is just really important for this combo. And Varudraz is worth making. So here, my opponent has 2 draws. I've got a negating pop, I've got a pop here, and I've got a nuke set up. So let's see how this plays out in the opponent's turn. So my opponent just does something, it doesn't really matter. Let's say I negate, and let's say I pop as well. Oh, it won't let me pop it. Okay, just pop that, it doesn't matter. Now let's say they activate that. Okay, so I'll use my normal trap to summon this. So a monster ideally needs to get popped. Well, actually, we don't need to pop a monster. So you have a choice here if you want to get the floodgates or the continuous trap. So, like, we could pop this, which will get us a meteor. Or if I pop an opponent's monster, that's fine as well. Then I can get Mistfa, for example. I'll pop that. Get the floodgates. Now we have our meteor. Then Varudraz gives us a pop as well. Then we have our meteor as well. We've only got the 1 meteor, unfortunately. And we have this floodgate here, and when we no longer need the floodgates, I could just shuffle it back and get a draw 1. The issue is we don't have a lot of follow-up of this combo. You can choose to go into the normal trap instead by not summoning the Mistfa, but that's just up to you completely. So, another interesting combo, and this actually comes up a lot, is what if we draw the bricks in this very specific combo? So, because Stego can pop everything, it can unbrick itself. Stego can just pop this, and now we can make 1 or 2 Asteros if we want to. And because we pop the continuous trap, which is normally a brick on its own, we can actually get value out of it and float it into the normal trap. So now we have 2 sides of the combos and we get follow-up as well. This is great. This can be done with Anva as well, which is really cool. And there's a way to actually loop into it. So we could activate Anva. You have like 9 ways of getting Anva, so this combo is really important to know going first. So oh wait, I think we actually need a volcano for this combo. Yeah, but actually, we do need volcano for this combo, actually. That is like one case, that's like the one time where I actually miss main decking it. So we normal summon, pop Anva, do that. Then we summon 4. Then go Anva into the continuous trap. Now the continuous trap is dead here because it's just sitting there doing nothing. Now, how could we actually get some value out of this? Well, turns out there's actually a way. So we would do this. Get our Misk. You could just nuke it on an opponent's turn, but then like you'd lose your follow-up. Or you could just leave Anva on field, then nuke twice, but There's a better way to do this. So which one? Yeah, we got enough tuners on field. So we would just get like Overraptor. And from here, so I'll go Overraptor on this, then chain the BBC, the HBC now. I keep calling it BBC. And we would summon back Overraptor for this combo. Like, the second Astero isn't vital on field. We just get our backup nukes. And now we actually get the field spell. And we go rank 4, and you're going to see why. So we actually would need the field spell for this. So if you're signing out the field spell, game 1 you won't be able to do this, which is a bit unfortunate, but... Now we go field spell, and we pop the Grenosaurus Giga Cannon. Such a saucy card. Just get that brick out of the deck. And now we can use effect to pop a card and burn for 1000. Now we can't really win in time anymore, but we can pop our own back row, and then we get this. So we still have like a... We have the summon negate, the pop here, and the potential triple nuke, and then the normal trap can float into the continuous trap, and then when you nuke again it can float back into the normal trap for even more follow-up, which is really good. So yeah, I do like that combo. There are some other niche combos that I could get into as well. I guess a really quick one here would be Overraptor, because sometimes you do just have Overraptor. Let's say, for example, your opponent has specific hand traps, or you've only got these 2 cards. We could use Misk. Let's put chain off. So here we would go Megalo. We could actually just go Overraptor, pop this, bring back Misk, and then get our nuke set up. In this hand trap, it plays through Lancia, and it plays through Droll as well. Then we could just make a Evolzar. You could like thump Misk, then special summon the Misk as well. You could do that if you wanted, but this combo also works. It plays through Nib, it plays through Walos, it plays through Meowls, it plays through a lot. It is... Ideally, I would actually make Dolka instead, so that is 3 interruptions, plus you have Misk in Graveyard, so there is that as well. Now, this is a really saucy one. Dracula sucks. It really does suck. But there's actually a really niche way you can get value out of it. Also, when you're doing a Jurrac Stego combo, because we no longer need to summon all the level 1s from deck, discarding Aeolo's like completely fine. But let's say we have Overraptor plus Aeolo's are only cards. We can actually do something with that. So you'll get Megalo. Then we activate Megalo. We discard 2 cards, so you do need another card, but getting to draw 2 cards is really important, so these 2 draws are just anything. Now Overraptor can trigger, bring back Aeolo, and that's our nuke setup. So we have 2 random cards in hand, and a guaranteed nuke in graveyard. We are not actually locked into anything. You could make SP if you want. Like you could make like Anima into SP. That's an option. You could actually do Fiendsmith combo if you're really spicy by making the level 5 Fiend Synchro. I would not recommend that, especially not on Ryuki's. Or you could just pass on this. So we have 2 random cards in hand. Oh, chain on. We have our nuke, so we have 1 nuke here. So we just blow up the field, let's just say. We don't special summon a tuner. And now we can set up a second nuke, which is pretty important. and we have the ammo to nuke again. So we can fire off a second nuke by banishing Astero and Meteor, and we have a tuner here to special summon. Also, because your field is empty, you can actually use a Mulcharmy at this point if you want to. Like, you could Full Walos your opponent, and now your opponent's in a really weird spot. So that is one thing you could do. So yeah, any weird combos you could do, I guess something to note would be the one card Warzone combo. I'll probably just do this as the last combo. So Warzone on its own is really good. So like you could just do your basic Jurrac combo with this. So if my opponent draws here, like I still have Stego, and I've got the Hakva that can special summon itself turn 3 when I summon UCT, and the Stego can just pop a card that's not itself. That is pretty good. So this does work really well. There's also other combos. If you want to play through a Charmy, for example, let's play through Charmy. Let's say we already have Stego in hand, and I don't want to normal summon it, or I can't normal summon Stego for whatever reason. What we could do is we can get Misk, Hakva, and this, so we get Hakva to hand, then we would banish that and that. And let's say they chart, okay, the Full Walos here. We have to banish for 1 to get the Megalo. So that's the one draw they're getting, spoiler alert. They're only going to get 1 draw off of this combo. Hakva can search us, enter Ritual. Then we get our Ritual going. Oh, actually, I would search the Quick Play spell, then search that, just so you have the deck fitting, and the Quick Play spell has that graveyard effect. Yeah, like, do that. But you'd get your normal spell. Now, if you want to do Ryugi combos, you could go Reproducus, and then you have a Ryugi in Graveyard and Banish and all that. But you do have to throw away this Megalo, and you're giving your opponent 3 draws into Full Walos if you're going for Varudras. So we don't actually need to do that. So we will just set this in pass. End phase. This gets popped with a Misk, so that's 1 nuke here. We can summon Mistfa here if you want to, but probably better not to. So my opponent only got 1 draw, and we have 1 nuke guaranteed. Let's say they normal summon something. We have a second interruption here, and let's say this pops an opponent's card. Now a monster was destroyed, so Mistfa can come out. We just play it on the opponent's turn. So for here, I would pop that. Yeah, I would pop that. Get the floodgates, and now we can float into the continuous trap. You could also pop the field spell as well, and you also can float into the Sea Serpent, the blue spell, but the blue spell is a brick I would not recommend, that's kind of win more. Then we've got a floodgate, and a second pop, so that's 3 interruptions we've got. This card is live as well, because we do have the 2 Banish and Graveyard Ryugi. So that's pretty good. So we have Floodgate plus 2 interruptions. Then we get our nuke. Let's say our opponent is still able to play through it. We nuke them. That's our 4th interruption. Then Ryugi End. Also, we can Charmy here as well. Ryugi End will give us more follow-up and the normal trap, so we just bottom deck the Floodgates, draw a card, and we have this for next turn as well. So we have 4 interruptions, plus follow-up for the turn after, and a draw. Then on our turn we'll draw again. So it does do stuff. This deck has options, I will say. There are some other really niche combos you could do as well, but I do think this works. Like I could do some quick test hands, advanced hands, so let's say 5. Like you will be bricking with this deck, but I do think this is an improvement over what I played in the tournament. So this is an awkward hand. Going first it totally works, but the 2 level 1 Drax is really awkward. You would do this in draw phase to like get around roll. So going first we can play around roll if we want to. The prosperities hurts, but if they don't have draw, we should be Gucci. We only lose if we have like 2 hand traps. So you could just activate this straight away. Let's say we don't care about Super Poly. What else do we not care about? The Granosaurus, the Evils are also like really niche. We could maybe banish like one of our Super Polys. If you know like what you're playing against, you could banish all of them. Okay, this is a pretty bad prosperity ad. Actually, it's kind of shit. You could search that and discard. If you get discarded, if we get him drolled, that is pretty bad as well. If we get drolled, we have to do Oviraptor, Megalo into the rank 4 plus Miskin Graveyard and Nuke. That's still something, I guess. Okay, going first, this hand is awesome. This hand is actually amazing going first. Going second is actually like playable, I guess, depending on what our 6 draw is. But we got both engines. We can search Misk. We got Book of Eclipse or the non-engine. So this is actually a solid hand. Going first, you just win. Like Droll will hurt, but we can still play through that. So just to play through Droll, I would get Misk. So if they Droll me, I still have Jurrac combo protected by Misk for multiple nukes, plus the Book of Eclipse to protect me even further. And then I've got follow up for next turn. And also the Anva can be activated and just pop it with the Jurrac Meteor and get you into the normal trap. So yeah, even if you get drolled, we are Gucci unless you've got a very specific other hand trap on top of it. But like otherwise, like if you don't, let's say they don't have droll, you're basically just winning. If you're going game 1 where most people don't main deck droll, like you just win. Like they're not stopping this. Like your scales, like you have the cross, you have the negate. They can't Ash Blossom Mistva. Like if they can, you're just going plus. So like this is going to resolve. If they have Imperm, well, you have nothing to Imperm until you've already got Varudras. Like so you just win. Okay, this is like one of those breaky hands, and it's comboable going first, but going second, yeah, this is rough. Kind of rough. Then this hand is. It's another hand that's playable going first, but going second, you kind of just lose. Yeah, we do get a lot of these hands. Combo going first, but going second struggles. This is actually a good hand going blind second. We have Fualos plus the Super Poly, plus we're getting extra draw, obviously. This card sucks, we got a brick, but we have Super Poly to discard it, and this can actually summon itself back. So let's say like we're going second. Like, you would be drawing, well, another Stego, I guess. We could discard this of a Megalo if we need to. It's a good hand. So yeah, hope you learned something useful from these combos. Yeah, obviously, this is a really fun deck. I loved it. So yeah, that'll probably be me done with my YouTube content. Unless I get another top somehow. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Thank you all for watching, and maybe see you next time. See you guys.